The SIG Sauer P320 debacle. Alright, here's the deal. I already did a long version of this. I'm trying to do a short version. I sold my P320C. The reason I sold it is I didn't want to stock mags for it. Literally the only reason. It's a great shooting little gun. I was very happy with it. But mags were expensive. Couldn't find them. And I didn't want to stock those on top of everything else I have. Moving on. SIG P320s are not drop safe. I don't care whose video you watch that says it is. They're not. They're just not. I don't like how this whole situation went. DPD suspended the use of the P320, probably based on that report, because police agencies share things. So if a P320 did something, they're going to let everybody know for all the departments that carry it. And let me tell you, having been a Fort Worth resident forever, DPD doesn't have any money. They can't just afford to suspend the pistol for the sake of doing it. And they didn't do it as some PR stunt, okay? I don't know where all these conspiracy theories are coming from. If you spend a minute in Dallas or know the local news, they don't have good chain of command, they don't have support, and they don't have a budget. They can't afford to pay their officers. They don't have money just to suspend the use of a handgun willy-nilly like that. It just isn't a thing. SIG issued a response to DPD suspending use of its pistol, saying that it's drop safe. Now, I noted in a discussion that was happening on Facebook that they said don't drop it in their thing. So they said if it's dropped in parameters outside of their drop test or whatever, it's not safe or something like that. It's not safe to do so. Or you shouldn't drop a loaded weapon or any of that shit. They said something along those lines. I was like, that's kind of funny. So I kept watching it unfold. And then the Omaha Outdoors video came out. They're like, hey, people keep saying this, let's just test it, see if it happens. Omaha Outdoors, by the way, loves the P320 so much they had their own P320. So for them to come out and say that there's a problem is probably a big deal. That's kind of like me saying, hey, I'm having an issue with my HK, or hey, I tested this HK, this happened, it's not drop safe, I recommend blah. That happens, then SIG is like, after some public outrage and stuff, then they're like, okay. We'll do an optional upgrade to fix your problem. A voluntary replacement. What the fuck is that? How is that acceptable? If you have a firearm and it drops when fired, you should absolutely stand behind your product, especially a company like SIG should stand behind their product and their consumers and say, look, this isn't acceptable for us. We're not going to have a product that does this. Everybody send your P320s in, we'll fix it for you. Now I know for a fact that they had to have beta tested this gun, because that's not the trigger pack that they sent to the Army. Right? They sent the trigger pack that the Army has, and that's now the optional upgrade. The other thing that bothers me is there was no lull in when this stuff came out and when their proposed change came out. You're looking at this whole thing and you're like, this is happening pretty quick. SIG had an opportunity to say, listen, we know there's an issue, send all the guns in, it's a recall, we'll fix them for you, we'll make it right. That's what they should have done. I understand there's a massive financial cost to this. And I understand that they're taking a product that they were going to offer as a paid upgrade and are now putting it in the gun for you. So there's that. So SIG really showed their ass there, and they did not do what they were supposed to do, in my opinion. So then now you have the SIG fanboys and the SIG haters, right? So you have the haters that were just absolutely terrible this whole time. You have SIG fanboys, and you have people that like SIG, like myself, who were kind of in the middle. They were jumping on some of the hilarity, but not being mean about it, you know, just putting up memes and stuff like that. And then you have the SIG fanboys, which are like absolute deniers. These videos are CGI. There's no way. Come on, dude. Like, I have never seen such blatant disregard for a safety issue in my entire life. So while not all of the P320s are doing it, a vast majority of them are. And it is absolutely ignorant and stupid to ignore a safety issue like this. I know there's a whole, and this is the other thing that bothers me. There's a whole bunch of SIG guys out there saying, well, just don't drop your gun. What? Just don't have an accident? The officer that was shot in the knee, by the way, that's not a place I'd like to get shot ever, but he dropped his holster. Now, being in the military and being in law enforcement for so long, I can't tell you how many times I've seen gear fail where the belt doesn't work right and the buckle comes undone and the gun belt just drops on the floor. Almost certainly going to land on the gun somehow because it's the heaviest thing on that belt. So I can't tell you how many times I've seen that. Or when somebody undoes a belt while they're sitting down to relax and the belt falls through the back of the chair or something like that. I've seen that so many times. Or when somebody has their gun belt and they just toss it. Happens all the time. Is it right? Is it proper firearms handling? No. But when you're standing 12, 14-hour duty days, people do a lot of dumb shit. And it's not excusable, but it happens. So for you, safe queen people or the guys that only take guns to the range or fondle them in the house or whatever, yeah, that may not seem reasonable to you, but the guys that are doing it every single day or, on the Panama schedule or just, working 14, 15 hours with a gun on their hip, you drop stuff. It happens. The only firearm I've dropped is when I was administratively transporting it. My HK here, this little scratch. I was trying to carry too much shit and I dropped it. All right? Accidents happen, even to the best people, because you either make a stupid decision like I did, or you have a legitimate accident. Blaming the guy or saying, oh, just don't drop your gun. Like, the most famous line in human history is, it's not going to happen to me. What? You can't guarantee that. Pretty much everybody in this situation's wrong. SIG's wrong for not owning it. The way it was reported initially was kind of fuzzy. That needed to be better. And the way the SIG community in general is receiving this is absolutely stupid. I can't tell you how many comments I saw refuting quantifiable facts and data. For why, I don't know. And not holding SIG accountable, which is absolutely ridiculous. The only reason they did this is because people held them accountable. I guarantee you, if there wasn't so much outrage and videos on the internet, Omaha didn't suspend the sale of P320s, then this wouldn't have happened the way it did. They wouldn't be doing the voluntary replacement. And I know that because it's a voluntary replacement. It's not a mass recall of the platform. So SIG needs to do better. The community needs to, if there's a legit safety concern like that, we're not talking like somebody's feelings or, Tim on Military Arms Channel does a torture test and it fails, or some other ridiculous thing. It's a legitimate safety issue, completely legitimate safety issue. And to all the people, all the Glock guys that are pissed that SIG won over Glock, I don't even know why you're weighing in on this. But, whatever. Right? People are going to be people. It's brand preference. It's like Ford, Chevy, and Dodge. There's always going to be that rivalry. It's the same thing with guns. And heaven forbid you like more than one brand. By and large, this whole thing was a shit show. Everybody needed to do better. And I'm not speaking from some high horse here, but when you look at the facts from a withdrawn perspective, and the other thing too, if I still had my P320C, which was perfectly logical for me to have, I would be sending it in. Do I want to send it in? No. I have other guns I'm very happy with, and I love SIG. I love this gun. I absolutely love this gun, so much so I'm buying more copies of this. You have to hold SIG accountable. You can't just let them have a pass because you like something. Same thing with HK. I sent those FDE HK45Cs in with the bad trigger bars, and I told the forum about it. And there were people on the forum talking about it. Did I minimize it? No, I checked mine. They did the same shit. We all sent them in, got them fixed, got them back. They run smooth. And that's what happens when you do stuff right. They fix it, and you move on. And there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, this gun had problems before, and it's a drop safety thing. So one, it's a super critical thing, and two, has nothing to do with the pistol's reliability. So it's not like you're taking some sort of personal hit because the gun won't function. I mean, it'll fire even when it's not supposed to. So all the people that are trying to run like interference for SIG or just say like, the gun doesn't have a problem, no, dude, get it all fixed. It's a serious problem. Drop safety is a massive problem. There's guns that you can't import because they're not drop safe. That South African Vector or whatever the hell that handgun is, can't import it. There's a few, but they're not drop safe. Help yourselves. Don't run away from a problem hoping it'll just go away or never happen. That's really stupid. And for all these people that prepare by carrying a gun in the first place and practicing with a firearm and following the firearm safety rules and the tenets of firearms ownership, to do all that and then to ignore a drop safety issue is very, very, very hypocritical at best, and I mean at best. Prevent yourselves from falling off that cliff of ignorance. Willful ignorance is the worst, by the way. It's one thing just to be ignorant of a situation because you haven't experienced something in life or something like that, and you work to fix it. But being willfully ignorant is a high crime in my opinion. But it's so stupid. And there were a bunch of people that acted an ass on both sides. There's SIG people that acted really stupid, and there's other people who are just constantly trolling and all this other stuff and just being negative and horrible about the whole thing. And I will say SIG did fix it fast enough, but they didn't do the right. It should be a mandatory recall. It not being a mandatory recall is absolutely ridiculous. And in closing, do I think you need to sell your P320? No, I don't. I think all of them should get fixed. It's a nice little gun. I enjoy shooting it. And it's a nice package. I'm going to have it here soon in the Navy anyway. So I'm not going to sit there and fight and be like, oh, it's not drop safe. They're going to fix it, but I also don't think you should skip sending it in. I know it's a huge pain in the ass. There's going to be a massive backlog, but still send it in. It's a safety issue. It's a life and death issue, potentially. You should get it fixed. The lessons to take from this are, don't be an asshole. Don't be willfully ignorant. Don't be a company that's going to take partial ownership of a problem. You either own it or you don't. Don't encourage people not to follow certain things or to ignore important safety data like this. This is incredible, some of the stuff I've seen. We all like this stuff. We're all gun owners. We all like the Second Amendment. We all like having our thing. And, just like there's a lot of car companies out there, there's a lot of gun companies out there. So at the end of the day, we all enjoy our own aspects of firearm ownership and our own aspects of shooting and whatever. And with that comes brand preference. But don't let that shit blind you. I mean, come on. This was silly. It's not like somebody did a torture test on it and it failed one particular torture test or something like that. This is a big deal. Drop safety is a massive thing. And nobody plans to drop anything. You don't plan to drop a baby. You don't plan to, while you're working in the garage, drop a tool on your car. You don't plan on a whole myriad of things. And for people like us who plan for the absolute worst, this is a no-brainer. So put your pride aside and get your damn gun fixed. Super simple. And after you do, sing its praises, run it into the ground. It's a great little gun. It really is. My opinion of the P320, save the drop safe issue, hasn't changed. My opinion of SIG in general hasn't changed. However, they need to handle their business better because they've clearly dropped the ball on this, in my opinion. I want to see a complete recall. None of this optional bullshit. Send a letter out, do it right, fix it. Everyone else, they're going to be who they are anyway. So, and the sensitivity from the, oh my God. I have never seen a more sensitive group. I thought Glocktards were the worst. I have never seen a more sensitive group in my life, like safe space requiring people in the SIG forum. I cannot believe my eyes. I should have known they were there, but seeing it was something else. It really changed my opinion of a lot of people. I know there's guys who just own guns to appreciate the mechanics and keeping them super nice and super clean and shooting them very seldomly. I get that. But oh my God. Not for the P320, guys. Like that's not the sword to fall on. Anyhow, thanks for listening to me ramble. I hope I hope everybody took from it what I was hoping to convey. I know that these videos usually get semi ridiculous, but at the end of the day, taking something like job safety seriously is important, and holding the company accountable is important, and being a strong gun community is also important. So just remember those things. Thanks for watching. Take care of each other, stay safe. If you have a P320, get it fixed, and support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America.